Fight week is here. How are you feeling? Getting ready for another walk to the octagon?
I feel great, man. Feeling great. It's been like I was ready to go for July 20th. So when the fight got moved back, it just gave me a little bit more time to kind of push it a little bit harder. But I was already helping teammates getting ready, and I was just mentally I was ready for a short notice. So I was so happy that it came up.
And how important was it for you to get back in the octagon after a big win last time out, instead of maybe 7 or 8 months go by and you kind of get to lose that momentum?
Yeah, I think it's very important for all of it. But I think staying relevant and trying to get in that breaking that top 15, top 10, you have to stay busy. So there's no time off, and I just feel like at this point in my career, like I'm wanting to push it every day because I don't know how much longer this is going to happen. And I just feel so healthy, and so I feel so good. So I'm gonna push it as hard as I can for as long as I can. But it makes me happy to get the opportunity.
So if you do feel that good, then why do you think some of those thoughts are starting to creep into your mind? Like, oh, I don't know how much I have left.
No, God, no. It's not about how much I have plenty. I have more now than I have in ages. Man, I'm like, it's crazy. Just getting past all these hurdles this last year, and opening my own business and getting my gym running, and it's given me so much more confidence and so much more time to train, so much more time to think. I've had like a lot of isolations, a lot of free time to just kind of process a lot of things in my life, and it just mentally, I'm doing pretty good right now, and it feels great, man. I could do this until I'm in my high 40s. I'm not gonna throw any names out there, but I'll know when my time is to stop, and it's nowhere close, man. I'm feeling great right now.
And so you're saying that you want to try to get towards that rankings. Of course, everybody does. But how does a win against Chepe really contribute to that? He's unranked, but obviously a very dangerous.
He's the next big thing. The next big thing. It's like I've heard this story over and over. Kamula, Pat, like all these guys, they throw out these big names, and I'm like, yeah, the kid's he's good. He's tough as hell too, and I know he's game to fight, and I know this is going to be a great fight for the fans, and definitely worthy of a co-main or main event spot. It's a tough fight. I'm not looking past him in any way, but just mentally right now and physically right now, I'm just at a different level, and he can't handle me on the ground.
And due to a couple fight cancellations, it did get moved up to the co-main event. Is that important to you, or does it add a little bit of stakes at all?
Hey, we could do it at the hotel in the fighters' room, the media room. I don't need a cage. I don't need I just want to perform, and if the UFC's there, that's all I care about.
And do you think this is one of those matchups that will kind of steal the show?
I think it's got a lot of potential for a great high fight, but it's not going to go all 3 rounds.
And what do you really expect from him when you get in there? Because he's done a great job of getting through his 3 opponents so far, but you are on a different level of durability than what he's faced.
Yeah, and I think his last fight, I think he lost, honestly. I think if you really watch the fight and break it down, I think he lost. But looking past that, he still won. He's still got a 3-fight win streak, so he's got the hype. And, I'm just now coming back on one win. So, by the way the fans, the way people look at it, I got my underdog in this fight, and it blows my freaking mind. I'm coming out there and making a statement for sure.
And so is that something that you do see a lot of, the betting odds or what kind of people are saying?
I mean, that's what the betting odds are. I don't know what, I can't believe it, because I'm so confident, so ready for this fight, and I just think that after this fight, it won't happen again like that.
Thank you.
I know you said you don't want to look past him, but you have said that you'd be more than willing to step up and replace Ortega should he drop out of that Lopes fight.
He doesn't want that fight. Yeah, I'll take that fight all day. I don't care who it is. Like, I'm game to fight, and I think that Sean knows that, and I think the UFC knows that, and all the fans have kind of caught on to that I'm always ready to fight. And, I was ready to fight Chepe on July 20th, and now I'm even more ready to fight him, August 10th. So I'll be here ready to go, and I'm excited.
And when you say you don't think he wants that fight, is that referencing, how that last fight dropped out the day of?
Yeah, 100%. I think that you could, he's a tough dude. Like, he's been tested, he's been there, done his thing. But I think he was looking for maybe a top 4 or 5 matchup, and now he's facing down in the rankings. So I think that Lopes is tough as hell. Like, it's not something you can, the next generation's coming fast. They're coming every day. So I think you either got to step up and stick around like Danny and Gay. Like, the dude's been tested over and over and over. He's just like that. He's that wall at the top 15. And, I think that's something that Brian's not looking to face.
And you mentioned the Ige. What did you think of that day? When I think everybody was surprised how quickly that it happened. I mean, what was your initial thought when you were like, holy cow, he's stepping? That's what your thought was?
I swear to God. So Macy, I usually am out in her corner, and she was working with this kid a lot at my gym, Terrell, and she basically asked Terrell to go because he's such a good teammate. He's such a good person to drill with. Good, he's a good vibe. He helps everybody out on the team. He helps everybody cut weight. He helps everybody do all the things. So they were working a lot, drilling together because they're in the same weight class. And when he came out, I was like, man, I wish I was there. Because I was like, just in case. But, you could always prep for that, but you never know when it's going to happen. But when it happened, I was like, man, if I was there, I would be the one stepping in there. And I would have done it in a heartbeat. Every time that I come with someone to their fight, I always cut weight with them just in case something happens because I'm always wanting that opportunity. So
that's awesome. Does that make it easier since you're always cutting weight? Because a lot of times people say, like, if you're cutting weight over and over, it's hard on the body. But you find that by doing it, you stay in the routine. If you do it the wrong way, if you do it the wrong way, for sure, it's definitely it's hard to do. But it's one of those things where if you're always on point with your diet and you're always doing the right things with your nutrition, your sleep, your recovery, then it makes it a lot easier to cut weight multiple times like that. And I know you said you still got plenty left in the game. You mentioned, Chepe, he's the next big thing. And, you're talking about Lopes, another guy that people are very high on. Are you sort of noticing the changing of the guard, the next generation starting to really move up and take place in the UFC?
Well, I think you have to respect that. You can't look past it for sure. I think that a lot of these guys are getting their hype, but they're not fighting the tough, dogs of the division. They get tested with these tough fights, and most of the time they're not winning, all of them, and they're not winning with hype. So when someone wins with hype and they win and they keep going through these guys, you got to give them respect. And I think that he's looking for that fight. He had it, I think he would have beat Brian everywhere that last fight, whenever they were going to fight, and Brian pulled out. And now that he's been pushed back into the fight again, I think that he's definitely not looking for that fight again. But I think you got to give the next generation respect because they're training smarter. They're training, a lot smarter with the coaching, the recovery, and just the process of it all. It's a lot different. So.
I know that the fight game's a tough game. You figure fighters might look out there and try to find guys that would be easy wins. But when you see these people coming out and getting fantastic finishes and they look like these fantastic fighters, is there something in you that says, I want to take that on because that's a funner fight, because it's a bigger challenge? Or would you rather an easy fight? Or is there something about these stars or upcoming guys?
My phone rings, I answer it every time. So if Jason calls, Sean calls, or coach calls, and they say I have a fight, I'm fighting. I don't care who it is. And I think that you can't, if you sit around, mentally, that'll wreck you. If you're, looking for a certain matchup and you don't get it, and then you get someone else that you really didn't want, I think that's going to wreck you. So I just kind of show up fight night, and whoever is across the cage from me, I'm ready to go. I would love to have a whole fight camp and not know who I'm going to fight until I get in the cage. But that would be really cool. But I don't think that could ever happen because people talk so much crap online. They message me stuff or, say whatever. So it probably would never happen. But I would love that.
That's pretty incredible. Tell me, Fortis Lakeside.
Yeah.
Give me the update. How's that going? What's some of the great things about it?
I got guys, fighting now. I got guys that are, getting to go, they're about to go pro. I have some guys that are, doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, and it's just so cool to watch people evolve and to see the sport evolving and to teach people along with the evolution of it and to show them, I talk to them about things that I did in the past, and then now how good they have it with. They have all these things, because it's we had one guy in the UFC in our whole gym. We had 40 fighters, and we had one guy in the UFC. And then all of a sudden we had 2, and then we had 3. And then it was it just escalated. It kind of kept building up like that. And then we had the Contender Series explosion. And then we had all these guys coming from that. And then we had the girls coming through Macy. And so it's cool to see the gym grow. And then now to take my own part of that gym and take it to my new gym and to grow that. It's been really cool to see because I see these guys going through the same phases that I went through in the past. So.
How does it help you during your own fight preparation? Are you by studying and seeing these other fighters? Is it really helping you?
Yeah, I mean, you can watch a bum fight and then still pick apart, some good things that they're doing, or you still, see things you want to do even for me, sitting in the stands a lot, I've been, I'm a fan of the sport. So when I see a boring ass fight, I'm like, bro, like I will never do this. I will never just get someone with the body lock and hold them on the ground like certain fighters do. Like, it's not my style, and I'm always looking for a finish, even on the grappling aspect. But, I think that it helps with coaching, because it's like, you tell someone over and over and over, you get frustrated with it to listen. So I think that it's helped me like open up my ears to my coach and listen to what he has to say. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm taking away.
I was looking on your social media, and I saw that you had some pics of your daughters that were doing some wrestling. How's that whole thing going with them wrestling?
I love it. I started coaching the middle school program in Rockwall because my oldest wanted to wrestle, and I was like, well, if you're going to wrestle, I want to coach, And so I went in there, and it's all girls program, and then they have the all boys separate. They have, separate practice. They have separate, tournaments and state and everything. So the girls wrestling scene has just game changer, and I have 4 girls, and obviously I never expected any of them to wrestle, but for years I wouldn't let my oldest wrestle, and then once I saw that it was all girls, and that was it, so I let her do it, and she killed it. She was a state champ her second year. She was a state runner-up her first year, state champ her second year. She made it to state as a freshman last year, and so she's going into her sophomore year, and then I have my other girls coming in right behind her. So
do you get bigger knots in your stomach from watching them wrestle, or yourself fighting?
It's walking out to the mat with them, and like getting in the corner, and seeing a girl cross face my daughter. I'm like, bro, like get off, I'm like, I'm just ready to go. It's just it's different. That's why I don't like watching my teammates fight. And but yeah, I don't know. I love it at the same time.
Awesome. And one of the last ones, how many fights left do you have on your contract right now?
I just got a new contract, so I guess 4 or 5. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And keys to victory, what needs to happen on Saturday to make sure you get your arm raised?
Forward pressure, and just that, my wrestling's back. So you guys are going to see that confidence back in my cardio, my style, everything. So I'll be ready to go.